Welcome to the second episode of Learning Program. So far, we have already know that what is algorithm and what is flowchart. Today, we're gonna extend that. So, have you ever considered to be a programmer? This is a course for you. So, let's begin. Let's go with flowchart. That's what it is that we have discussed so far. So, flowchart has consisted of some shapes like an oval and print shape that you have learned, and another oval for finish, and that was just the print hello world algorithm. But there are more of that. There could be some other shapes, and today we're gonna discuss it. There is a shape like this, but this is not the shape. So let me see. It's like that, and here, and now it, and looking good. This is the actual shape. This means that we're gonna calculate something or assign a variable or do anything that is not a part of printing or starting or ending, or even reading an input. If we want to read an input, the shape is like this. It's a rectangle. Rectangle means that you want to get something from user. It could be some numbers, it could be his or her name, or whatever it is. It's just an input. But the other shape is for arithmetically assign something, or maybe directly. So let's go for variables. Variables are some memory cells. They are not actually memory cells. They are bunch of cells chained together called bytes. But you can for now see them as some blocks or cells in memory and name them. For example, this could be M for my var, whatever it is. It's M. You can put 2 in M. You can put, for example, I don't know, Jeff maybe, Joseph maybe, whatever it is. You can put these things inside a variable, and that's variable, which sorry, and that's variable. It means it could vary. You can temper them, you can manipulate them, you can add to variable, you can create as many as you want. So there's no limit for variables. But the other hand, we have something called constants, which the name kind of gives it away. It's constant, and you can define them one, and you cannot ever change them. So that's the difference between constants and variables. A constant could be something like the pi number, 3.14, or the rest. I don't have it on my memory. So a constant could be something that doesn't need to change, but a variable is something that is going to change quite a lot. So let's go for it. For example, imagine we want to write an algorithm for what? For sum up two numbers. Let's get two numbers from the users and add them together. So as the start, as you already know, the start is an oval, I'm trying to, I'm trying actually to be an oval expert, but it's not oval, and you pardon me. What's the next step for adding to numbers? It's actually getting to numbers. So we need a rectangle. Alright. And let's read, for example, A. The shape kinda tells it's an input, so we don't have to. We just name the variable. For example, it's capital A. And capital and non-capital letters doesn't matter here, actually. And let's read, for example, B. And then we need to add them together. Let's call it C. But this is not an input, so we are not allowed to actually use the rectangle for the C, because we don't read it. We want to calculate it. So for C, we cannot use rectangle because it's not an input. So we're gonna use a parallelogram. This shape. I hope I pronounced it right. Parallelogram for calculating it, because it's an assignment. We want to assign something to the C, and the arrow means assign, and the arrow must not be the other way. This is wrong, so the arrow must be always right to left. We want to assign C A plus B, which means we add them together and the result goes to C. Now that we have the result, we can just simply print it by this shape that you have already familiar with. So that's it. We have printed C, and it's time to finish. So I can call this finish and calling this start. Yes, I can type. And that's it. That's the algorithm for, that's not the algorithm, that's a flowchart for adding to numbers. So if we want to, if we try to, let's write the algorithm then. What's the algorithm, you ask? So if you don't know what is algorithm, you can just simply go and watch the previous video. But if you already know what's an algorithm, let's write it. So the first step, I'm gonna type this. The first step is to start. Sorry, I will start from the right part. My native language is right to left. So first step is to start. The next step is to reading A. Actually, the reading is a carryover from centuries ago, where the computers didn't had keyboard or anything for input, and they used something like punch cards, and the computers actually read the punch cards and wrote the results on the another punch card, which is quite not satisfying, but that was working at centuries ago, where there was no keyboard and anything. So that's reading part, or the read command. It is kinda against the print command. Print shows an output, but read actually reads an input. So we're gonna read A, which we have now, and then we want to read B, and last but not least, we want to assign C. So we write C and the arrow and then the value. So that must be capital. That's it actually, and the final step is to finishing the algorithm. And now we have the algorithm for summing up to numbers. And we had the flowchart actually back then. That's a simple algorithm for summing up to numbers, and you have so far learned the meaning of the parallelogram and the rectangle. What does they mean and what does they do? And I think that's a huge step. First, the next thing you're gonna learn is what's a diamond means. I mean, like this, a kite. First thing you're gonna learn is to learn what does diamond mean. I mean, this is diamond. I mean, this is supposed to be, and what that means. Well, in flowchart word, it means if. So it gets a condition, and when the condition is true, I mean where the condition has been satisfied, it has an output. We just simply always call it yes. So that means the condition here is right. The condition could be something simple. For example, it could be a is greater than 2 or something like that. And there could be another output for the diamond, which we call it no, is for the moments. It's for in case of the condition has not been satisfied or not be true, and there must be an input step for it. So we don't call it anything. That must be another part of flowchart there, and it could be some rectangle, it could be a parallelogram, it could be just simply a start and then if. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. We just want to know what diamond is, what does it do, and we read it as if. It means if a is greater than 2, then do this. But otherwise, if it wasn't greater than 2, it was equal to 2 or less than 2, follow this step. It could be just it could be just like a crossroad. It's diverting you from the path that you already taken. So where could we use it? I mean, we could get a number and say if it's positive or negative. Let's write the algorithm first because it's much simpler. Like every algorithm, we need to start. I mean, we need to determine the start point, and then we want to get a number to see if it's positive or negative. So we're gonna read a number, for example, read A, whatever. And the next step is to check if it is a positive number, say so, otherwise say the otherwise. So we're gonna check if A is greater than 0, and then print these quotations here, and we're gonna say positive. But the next step, we say otherwise, print negative. There's a problem here. When the A is equal to 0, it doesn't write anything about the positive or negative. Oh no, if A is equal to 0, this condition has not been satisfied, so at the other was a print negative. So 0 is negative. In this case, we want to be positive. So we add equal, which means if a is equal or greater than 0. So 0 is positive in this case. We could have write 2 if. The first one checks if it is 0, say it's 0, but it wasn't 0, check for it's positive or negative. And like every algorithm, we need to finish or determine the finish step, and that's it. That's our algorithm, and we have it right here. I'm afraid it can't be zoomed. So for the next step, let's go and write the flowchart, or draw the flowchart. I mean, it can be written. I mean, let's use our keyboard. This is our start, and the next step, as we have written here, is to reading A. For reading, we use rectangle. So we are using this rectangle to read A, and then the next step is to if something blah blah, and whenever we have reached an if, we're gonna use the diamond shape for this. Alright, I mean, that's not the perfect diamond, but it does the job. And the condition is a greater or equal to 0. That's our condition here. And let's move it here. Alright, so if the condition has been satisfied, it could be our yes here. If it's satisfied, we want to say, we want to print positive. So we use this shape to say positive. And if it wasn't quite right, we use this shape to say negative. So if the condition is no, it's not satisfied, we use this to say it's negative. And last step is the finish, but we have 2 rows. Which one is the finish? I write the finish here. Come on, let's draw an oval. That's not actually another oval, but excuse me for my bad handwriting. I can't do any better. So this flowchart might be complete to you, but as you might get deep in it, actually after we write positive, there is no step, and we haven't done yet because we haven't reached the finish step. Yes, at the algorithm we follow the lines and the numbers goes up, and by incrementation we can find the next step, but that doesn't go in flowchart. We want to draw another line to finish. Let's do it properly. Yep, that's it. That's actually completed and tells if the number is positive or negative. Alright, that's for today, and we hope you have learned a lot. That's not a lot, but that's a step. Go on and try to draw other flowcharts for multiplying 2 numbers, or check if A was an age, can you drink or not? Of course you can drink. You must drink water to survive. Can you drink something that is not legal for you? If you want to drink something alcoholic, you must be at least 21 years old in some countries, but 18 years old in some other countries, I believe. And I don't know, based on your country and your culture, Write a code to get the age and say you are good to go or you cannot drink. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and liking this video. I mean, I don't mind if you don't do that, but it could be what you said. It could be cheering for me. I mean, I'll be happy if you do that. And like always, have a good day, and I wish you the best.